Norm by far. Norm will cut your legs right off.
We had to bring in an extra medic just for, the damage that Norm could possibly do.
He's made people cry.
Yeah.
He did Last Comic Standing. He was the only honest judge. He would tell comics they were hacks. It was awesome. The comics hated him. Joe List did it, and he goes, "Joe, you're a very good writer." And Anthony Jeselnik goes, "Hey, Joe, that Norm just called you ugly," which is such a great line.
Damn.
But, oh, my God.
My story with Norm it doesn't start out great because I did Last Comic Standing in 2000 and whatever. It never aired. And I did my joke, and I did well, and it was him. It was Damon Wayans and Roseanne.
Yeah.
And Roseanne liked me. Damon Wayans, he was not. He was just yeah. He just smiled and laughed. I think he said right on. I don't know what he was just barely there. He wasn't. I don't remember anything either way. And then Norm was like, "How many years have you been doing comedy?" I'm like, 4. He's like, "What? It takes 10 years to be a comedian. What are you doing here?" I was like, "Ah." And I remember that was the biggest gut punch I got in stand-up. And I remember being at the Hilton by where they shoot all those shows. By where is that? Universal City?
Yeah.
That area?
Yeah.
I was in the Hilton, and I was just like I couldn't even eat. I was like, this is horrible. And I spoke to one of the comics I was staying with at that point. And he was like, "Last Comic Standing." He's like, "You go in there and they pay legends to tell you not to do what you love," which is kind of what. But I got over it. I kept doing it. And then he became a fan of us later on and a lot of shit we were doing. And he was right. I was a 4-year, 5-year comic then. It's like, you do need more time to mature.
The other time I met him was on Last Comic Standing when he was a judge, and I got eliminated in the first round. I had a pretty good set. Better than a lot of people who moved on, but it's NBC. Let's face it.
That's how it goes.
But I remember I had one joke that Norm singled out and goes, "That joke is gold." And that to me was me. I didn't even feel that bad. I got locked off because I was like, Norm Macdonald, who was the judge that I connected to his work the most. It was Roseanne and Keenan. I connect to Roseanne's politics, of course, but no. But it was Roseanne and Keenan Ivory Wayans, and obviously I love In Living Color. But Norm, I'm a comic. Norm was the guy I connected with, and the joke he loved was I said, my last girlfriend was a hoarder, and she broke up with me, which stings extra hard. I'm like the one thing she can get rid of. And he said he loved that joke, and then I got Keenan kind of digged me in the last comic thing. He said, "I like some of your jokes, but not all of them." And I said, "Well, I loved all your scary movie films," and it got a huge laugh. And he's, "I only did the first 2." And I was like, all right. I remember I saw Norm in the food.
Yeah.
He couldn't let it pass. He couldn't take the L on that one. I knew I was out after that.
Right.
And then I'm walking through the thing. It was like a break. I guess they were taking a break, the paid audience, and I see Norm, and he goes, "I really like that you dug it."
Oh.
So that was a special moment.
He's the real deal. He really is.
Yeah, I think he could tell. And I said, "I met you once at Caroline's," and I told him I really like it.
Yeah.
We're all going to be following Anthony Jeselnik on Twitter as he live tweets Last Comic Standing. And then, of course, Norm being at the end chair. That's just manna from heaven. Thank you, God.
Sure,
that I
but
get to watch Norm
that was
Macdonald.
why I took the gig was to work with Norm. I was like, "Oh, that's amazing. When am I going to chance like this again? Let me do this." And the way he was in the taping is so much better than the way they edit that it kills me.
Why? Because I think he's really good on the show.
He's
really
good on the show.
Constructive advice.
He's good, but it was fascinating to see him unfiltered, especially when they took out all the bad comics. Some of the funniest stuff on that show is when a bad comic comes up and the judges trash them, I'm trashing them. That was really fun, and that's all gone. They didn't want to embarrass anyone. So it's the one reality show where they don't want the drama. And Norm was borderline a monster to people. He would say things that would kill me, that I would be on the floor dying laughing. I would have to take time. One of my favorites was he told this one girl, he said, and she did fine. The other 2 judges really liked her. And this is what happened was the other 2 judges would like the person, the crowd liked the person, and then Norm would just be "I think you suck." And it would be everyone's "I can't believe you're saying this, and I can't believe you're so against the other 2 judges." But so this girl, he says, she's done fine, the other judges like her. Norm says, "I thought that was horrible. I think you're one of the worst people I've seen in this whole competition. And I'm like dying laughing. And then he goes, I think that you are incapable of writing a joke. And she goes, oh, well, I'll work on that. She's trying to be nice. She's like, okay, thank you. I'll work on that. And he goes, no, don't work on it. I said you are incapable. And that was the most like crushing thing he could have said to someone.
I actually got into an argument on the subway, and the guy quoted the Bible at me. That is not fair. Like, if you get to quote from your favorite book, I should be able to quote from my favorite book, right? He was like, men do not live on bread alone, Matthew 4:4. And it's like, everybody's a little bit magic, Harry Potter, chapter 7. It's not a fair fight, right?
You say there's no way we could go back, and that I've broken what we had. Oh, I wish that you would come around. No.
I disagree. I don't think the Bible joke is brave at all. I think if you're going to take on an entire religion, you should maybe know what you're talking about. J.K. Rowling is a Christian, and J.K. Rowling famously said that if you're familiar with the scriptures, you could easily guess the ending of her book.
Huh? Okay.
I don't like it.